everybody. I just real quick want to do a short video and talk a little bit about a mistake I see a lot of people making with this pressure release leash work. Now, if you're not familiar with that style of leash work, then there's other videos on my YouTube channel that you can check out, or you can also check out Tyler Muto's conversational leash work stuff. A lot of the same concepts, very similar stuff. To some degree, they're almost exactly the same thing. You'll find some variations, but overall, don't worry about it. It's good stuff. But one of the things that I think that people are missing is this idea of successive approximation. When we talk about just releasing that pressure, when that dog just gives just a little hair of movement, I think a lot of people, especially with a more stubborn or committed dog, I think a lot of people tend to hold on too long and miss those little opportunities. Your job, your goal with this work is to create an opportunity to provide the dog with slack. It is not so much to enforce, is to create the opportunity to give the dog slack. So we want to reward more often with slack, more often than a lot of people do. So sometimes I'm feeling with the leash, I'm feeling just even sometimes it's just a slight lessening of resistance, or even I can feel the dog relax a little bit. I'll reward that with some slack. You can always add the pressure again. You can always go back and add pressure, but you miss those moments to reward when that dog is if the dog has been really conditioned to lean into the leash and is really just committed to that, then if they start experimenting, go, I wonder if I can turn this pressure off, and they just give you a little bit and there's no reward, they go, oh, I guess that didn't work. Now to you may not think that's anything. You got to really sometimes train your eyes and even your hands to feel those things, you know. Horse trainers talk about working on a feel, and that's real important with the slip lead. So a little bit of pressure, when you see that dog, sometimes just a shift of weight, or I guess it's just relaxing the muscles, then you want to go ahead and give them some slack. And just like you would build shape of behavior with a clicker, we're going to shape turning. They give us a little, we give them some slack. Then we put some pressure on, they give us a little, we give some slack. And pretty soon they start to go, oh, I understand this game. But if you're looking for big motions, big movements, you may not find it with some dogs, not right away. So sometimes it's this real subtle stuff that's really, really important. So I happened to have a dog out yesterday, or the day before, Beatrice. She did really good. She did really, really good. But when she started, she was leaning in. Now, to give you a little history, I spent 2 days with this dog just getting her to trust me. She was a little shy, a little timid, not real sure of things, not real fearful, but enough that I didn't want to put a lot of pressure on her. So I just sat with her and played with her a little bit. And so the video that you're going to see here is the very first time I did any leash work with her, besides walking her to and from the kennel, all right, or out of daycare and into training room, excuse me. So it's a real, when I saw what I was doing with her, I said, this is the thing I need to capture. So I stopped, got my video camera out, and I videoed this. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Watch for those subtle releases, and I guess that's it. Enjoy the video, and we'll see you around the internet. Thanks a lot. Bye.
So here we are introducing Beatrice to the pressure release leash work, and I found this to be a very interesting dog because she's somewhat resistant to the leash pressure. She's leaning in, and what I want to show you guys is just what's going on right now is how little I need from the dog to create that slack. I'm just looking for the slightest shift. I'm not looking for a huge movement. So she shifts towards me just a little bit. Sometimes I just feel her getting more relaxed, and I offer the release of pressure. So as you can see, there's very small movements. I'm not trying to force her to do anything. It's just apply the pressure. There's some turkey on there that she wants to get to, but that's going to come later after the lesson. That's her reward for a job well done. Good. She's doing pretty nicely. Now here's a segment where you're going to see it's a very subtle movements that I'm responding to. And we're going to go slow motion and zoom in on this in just a second. You can really see what I'm talking about. So here we go with the slow-mo. And just a slight amount of pressure, slight amount of movement, and release. And a slight amount of movement and release. And a slight movement and release. And a slight movement, release, and then there she goes. There she turns right in. So very, very, very small amount is what we're looking for to make this work. All right, so it is not, like I think, again, a lot of people try very hard to get a big dramatic reaction from the dog, and you don't need that much. As a matter of fact, it's successive approximation. You only need to reward just little efforts, like boom, there's another one. Little effort, just a little effort, and there we go again. And you see, that's really interesting. We're going to slow this down and look at this again because this is really cool. And I want you to watch how this release actually triggers her to turn. She doesn't turn on the pressure. She turns on the release.
Good. Yay. Good girl. Come on. Yes. Come on. Yes. Good. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, so I want to watch this section. It's going to look like I'm jerking the leash here, but that's actually her jerking as I give her the release. I'm still doing the same thing. It's that active release, but because she's pulling harder, she's kind of creating a jerk effect on herself. All right, she's kind of charging it into the end of the leash when I release it. I'm still being very soft. Now I'm going to try changing the angle, and watch this. This is interesting. She starts to angle herself back into that sort of 12 to 6 position. A little bit. So I'm going to switch sides again, and here she's going to go.
Girl.
Good. So a little bit of patient persistence will get you there, as long as you are consistent.
Nice.
So again, we're back here at that door. Just the slightest shift is creating that release. She's not nearly as dedicated as she was before. There's a little bit of pressure, and you can just see her body's reaction to the releases there. And there we go. Another nice little result. Turning back into attention, a little food reward to keep her going. And there we go. Look at that nice stop. And change the elevation of the leash a little bit. Yes, good. And just keep working her through it. Right? So a lot of food reward there. Make her feel good about it. And now look at this. This is very nice. She's staying with me. So we're starting to really get that feel of attention that we're looking for. She's starting to figure out. And this is her first time on this exercise. So there we go.
Good.
Nice. So now she's starting to figure out the game. And it's coming along very nicely.
Good. Good. Yes.
So you can see that hopefully you can see that I'm not asking a lot to give her the release of that pressure. I think a lot of trainers, when they're kind of getting into this style of training, they make the mistake of demanding too much from the dog. And in this case, with a dog that's really, really committed, you're going to need to offer more releases faster.
Look at that. What a good girl. Ooh.
Remember, the trick is to find an excuse to give the dog slack, not to hold on to pressure as long as you can.
Yes.
There we go.
Come on.
It's really nice work from her. She's really figuring it out. Of course, we're adding the food reward to make it easier for her to succeed as well. Look at that.
Let's go.
Very nice. Very nice.
What a good girl, baby. Come on. Come on. Good.
So you can see as we go, the pressure gets less each time, and more focus. Like even there were some people outside the room, and she's still paying attention. So very quickly, this, in just a few minutes, we can really make a big difference.